I recently flew out to Las Vegas to work with Brad Lea, and within just a few minutes of testing his back, I found something that would immediately change his spine health forever. Like a lot of people, he thought his issue was one thing, but the real problem was something he didn't even realize. In this video, I'm gonna take you through the exact assessment I used, what we found, and the exercises that immediately started improving his movement, so you can see what might be going on with your back.
Yeah, like as I'm sitting here talking, he's talking, and one of these or one of those. Like these are always better, and these are the ones I notice that I'm going.
Yeah.
So it's like, dude, I just want to learn how to get a little bit more erect.
You need more tests.
But people say, work out more. I started working out for a while, and I still notice when I was walking by in the mirror, like I was kind of hunched over. Like you'll see in some of the pictures, I'm hunched over. Or I'll watch videos of me and I'm walking, and I'm like, why am I like this? Like, dude. And then if I do this too much, I feel like I'm trying to be buff. And so it's like, where's the happy medium?
Here's a super, we would talk about some basic exercises you do. Here's a super simple one. So think about it. If you're in your chair most of the day like this, your back is missing extension, which is the opposite motion. You can achieve extension in a lot of various ways. Like one super simple one is put your feet back, hands on this table, and just drive your chest to the ground. Like just now my mid back popped, I'm getting extension. So you can come back up and come down repetitively. Just do this like 5 to 10 times whenever you walk by a desk or in the middle of your workday or whatever. And like immediately, you'll probably feel your mid back pop. You'll stand up. You'll feel more erect the way you want to feel.
What about this, like something like this?
Yeah, pushing like that.
That was as I saw some video kind of like you made.
Yeah.
Where it's like you got a hunched neck, you go like this.
Sure. What you just demonstrated, there's like 2 simple ways that you can do that. So let's say I didn't come to a wall. Can I push in this wall?
Yes.
Okay. So like one, if I put my elbows like this, put my feet back, then I can drive my chest into the wall. Once again, just getting into extension. That's completely fine.
Well, that's straighten.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, it's getting you from this to this. Chin retractions are good for getting the neck straighter like that as well. I mean, you could
is this some of the videos?
Use your chair. Yeah, you could use your chair, put your elbows on the chair and arch into it as well. Now that's helping your mid back into extension, but remember your low back is in a flex position too. So you want your low back to get to extension. I mean, once again, I could just lay on this table and I could push my low back into extension. I could stand, push my low back into extension. I could come to the wall, push my low back into extension and do this repetitively. Help the wall.
Now, as far as movement, what should a human movement should be able to do? Tell me like how you would test me if I just walked in.
Okay, so we'll just do some basic ranges. Basic ranges would be, okay, feet together, bend forward like you're gonna touch the floor. Pretty solid range. I mean, you don't have to get to
if I pull, it's my hamstrings that kind of.
That's okay. We talk to people where they do this. My back, my leg.
Okay.
You're doing pretty good. Okay, next one, standing extension. So feet together still, arms overhead, lean back as far as you can. That's not bad. That's a little bit limited.
Well,
that could be better.
I didn't want to fall. I felt off balance.
Yeah. That was better than the first one. You're starting.
I could probably go farther, but I've never done that. I don't want to go too far.
Yeah. So you have some degree of restrictions through there. It's like that's a movement I want to improve.
Okay.
Next one, put your arms together and just rotate side to side. So I wouldn't want to come in front of you. If I was going to do this properly, I would come in front of you to look at how much you rotate. See, we want his shoulders, like when you rotate, it's going to be hard to do it. We kind of want his shoulder to be able to rotate all the way. So it's this back one passes the rear one. So that's good rotation, actually. That's actually pretty solid rotation, truly. Okay. Next one, we look at the shear of your spine. So feet shoulder width, push your hips straight across one way, straight across the other way. We just want to see good translation. Some people are like stuck. They can't move. Like, yeah, that's great too. And then we could do a couple simple hip tests. Now, without much help, try to just lift one leg up and just cross it over the other. Yep. Then will it fall down? Is that as it does?
No.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, look at this.
So like that's a pretty steep angle.
Yeah. Well, this is tight.
Yeah. So now compare to the other one. So just put that down. Yep.
No, I was just trying to see if this one's better.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one that's better too.
Yeah. That one's better.
I have one that's better too.
Yeah, this is definitely better. And you know what else is limited motion sometimes where it used to never be that way is like putting on my socks or putting on pants where I'm lifting this leg up.
Yeah.
It feels like one doesn't go as high as the other one.
Now, so then here's one last set movement. So sit back down. So now instead of crossing the leg this way, which is external rotation, just pick your knee up a little bit and rotate your foot out. That's internal rotation.
Really?
So this way. Yeah. There's not much there. Now do the other one. Yeah. So what we see is your spine movement is decent. You have decent flexion. You have good rotation. You have okay extension. It could be a little bit better, but as soon as we test your hips, we see limitations. So if you started complaining about back pain, yes, I would do things for your back, but now seeing your hip limitations, I'm wanting to focus on your hips. Like that's
So what would
obviously a
those be?
restricted area. There's multiple movements that should be combined. Some are going to be mobility-based movements. Some are going to be stability-based
It's
movements.
not my back.
So, yeah, we're
Hey, real quick, I know you're struggling with pain and obviously want to fix it. So if you just text me the word pain to 317-751-9509, I will send you my free back pain fix demo. Just text that number and you can fix your pain. Thank me later. Back to the show.
Well, I like to prevent, not fix.
Yeah.
So like, you're limited. Well, shit, I should have been doing this 6 months ago.
So I'll just give you a couple simple examples. And these aren't like the only ones, and these aren't like the specific ones I'm advising you, but I'm giving you a concept here. So like, what is a hip mobility movement that we could do? Okay, we call this our 90-90 position. Now I'm gonna use my hands for support because most people can't do the full thing. So one is like, I wanna try to draw a huge circle with my knees, and this requires my hips to be in a mobilized position. So this, I could just use my hands for support. I can rotate back and forth. Maybe you do this 5 to 10 times each way, combined with some of the spine stuff that I showed you. Yeah, I mean, it's requiring significant range of motion of this joint to go through that circle. So like a variation of this is, now let's say I keep my body facing this way. Now I can really focus on hip mobility by moving just the one in the back. Like this requires good motion. So over time, you can get to more advanced movements, which are going to expand the mobility. And then it can turn into stability-based movements. So just being in this position, okay, now let's say I hinge forward of that front leg, then I come back up. That's requiring strength of my hip, not just mobility, but strength of the two. So there's various...
Does it give you a nicer butt?
Yes, for sure. I mean, squatting and deadlifting is going to be primary, but like then you can get into like, different movements like this, and there's different variations of hip stability, things that you can do that, improve these things over time. So
Let me say something else too, like stand with your feet together.
yeah.
Okay, now like this, ready? Now go like this.
Oh, yeah, I see. You got some hyperextension in your knee.
Does that matter?
No.
Because what's funny? Because if I'm speaking on a stage and I watch the video later, I find myself looking like some weird stork. So I'm like, but I thought I was looking cool and shit. Now I look like a dork. So I'm like, I got to quit doing that. So I noticed just recently, if I tighten my ass muscles, my legs won't go back. Like right now, I can't push them back because I'm clenching my butt. So I'm thinking, well, maybe my glutes are so weak that it allows that.
I can explain to you right now. So here's why, Brad. So my glutes, if I contract them, what the glutes do is they posteriorly tilt your pelvis. So if I relax them, that's puts me into this extended position, this anterior pelvic tilt we call it. If I contract my glutes, it flattens my low back and puts me into a posterior pelvic tilt. If I'm in an anterior pelvic tilt, then my knees can translate further because of this position. But if I contract, then just watch this. I'll keep my knees extended. If I contract my glutes, it naturally pulls me forward, and now my knees are not as far back. It's just
lower back.
Biomechanically, I can't do it as much. So that's why.
Yeah, so if I strengthen my glute, not only do I get a nicer looking butt, these will go back less.
If they're in a contracted state.
But not just because they're more tight.
Not likely just because, like,
Why is this just a double jointed type person? Right? It's just that's what you got.
It's just your joint laxity.
And you know what I think also when I was younger, I ran a 4.40.
Uh-huh.
I think it's because of that.
It's killing.
Real.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like I can fling faster than normal people. But look,
440?
yeah, like that's like really that way.
It's some ostrich leg.
So when I'm running, when you run, the farther back your toe can leave, the fling part of the foot.
Yeah.
So this allows me to have more surface space longer than someone that has this.
Yeah, potentially. Maybe you had biomechanical advantage.
I think I did.
It's
The
possible.
danger is hyperextension in this position, though.